Teddy covers from Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll get his take on what we saw this past weekend, early looks toward the week ahead in NFL college football. We'll definitely discuss in-depth Patriots Jets Monday Night Football tonight. Let's bring him in. Teddy covers. Teddy, how are you on a Monday morning?
I'm doing all right, Ian. How about yourself, man? And I got a question for you right off the bat. Well, I got two questions. One comment and one question. First is that your comment about unders. I mean, if you had the Jags game under yesterday, Jags Bengals,
yes.
which was dead nuts under the whole game, or if you had, Bills Dolphins under yesterday, dead nuts under the whole game, and then fourth quarter shenanigans sent both those games up and over, or one, a push and one and over. Yeah, unders take years off your life. Unders are what made this hair gray, and that's the question I wanted to ask you, Ian, because I know you've been doing this now, 15, 20 years? I mean, it's been a long time. You don't have gray hair yet. What's up with that? Even from this weekend, you're supposed to have gray hair.
It's showing. It's showing. There's let me see if I can. Which way should I turn?
There's
a little bit of gray on the sides. It's coming. No, I will be following your footsteps. Maybe not fully, but closer to following your footsteps, Teddy, than not in the hair department. I will be gray definitely by 45, 50 years old. There's no question about that. It's already starting to show on the sides. A little frost, a little bit of snow. I don't like it. It angers me. It upsets me to think about it. But nevertheless, it's what I got to deal with. And you're right about the unders yesterday. I mean, the Jags-Bengals game going over the total, just sickening. If you had the under in that game. It's just one of many examples. Like, look at the Saints and Bears, 37 total yesterday. All kinds of shenanigans, special teams touchdowns, block punts leading to points. I mean, that's why it's scary. Even at those low numbers, it's set up as well. This is a pretty good defensive battle here. Saints defense against returning Trubisky. We don't know how well he's going to play against it. Pretty good Bears, although it wasn't a pretty good Bears defense. Teddy, what's wrong with the Bears defense? Because I saw Oakland in London 2 weeks ago just completely blow up the Bears defense. Line of scrimmage was won by Oakland's offensive line against that Chicago defense. And yesterday, as that game went along, here's the Chicago defense falling apart. They're getting thrown on. They're getting run on. Now, a product of that is they couldn't stay on the field on offense. When you're going three and out all the time with Trubisky in the offense, it's going to lead you to a tired, fatigued defense, especially in the second half as the game goes on. And that's really where it got away from the Bears yesterday. But this is 2 weeks in a row. The Bears defense has been underwhelming. Should we be concerned if we're a Bears fan or a Bears backer? What do you think?
You should be very concerned. I think you nailed it, though. When you talked about the offense's inability to stay on the field, and therefore the defense gradually starts to wear down. And we saw it against the Raiders before the bye. We saw it, obviously, yesterday coming out of the bye. Let's give the Saints some credit. I mean, the Saints have put together a remarkable run without Drew Brees. And they've done everything right. Their defense is blowing up the line of scrimmage against every opponent that they face. But offensively, Chicago's supposed to be able to do something yesterday. And after that first quarter, it was like at one point they were being outgained 283-23 over the final three quarters of that game. That's, in my mind, the defensive woes. Akeem Hicks has something to do with it. The injury to Hicks matters. But their defensive woes have everything to do with the fact that the offense can't move the football at all, and the defense is running out of gas.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just what's funny is yesterday was one of those days, Teddy, for me, where you put in all that time handicapping a particular sport or league throughout the week, and you watch all the games day and night, like I do NFL yesterday. And what do you get out of it? A 3-3 for me with my top 6 plays. So it feels like, wow, we did all this work. Oh, we watched all these games, and we end up just right back where we started. But hey, it's better than losing. It's the way I always say. You'll always take that more than a negative day. That's for sure. But 3 losses were all right there for me, Teddy. Giants laying the 3 against Arizona, and I also had over 50.5 in that game, and we were so close. An Aldrick Rosas missed field goal really hurt in that game, because if he makes that one field goal he missed, we probably play overtime, and then Giants could still cover. The game probably goes over the total, but that close. And same with Baltimore-Seattle over. I didn't deserve to win, actually. That was a wrong side. That got close only because of the late defensive score by the Ravens, but there's Seattle driving. Maybe they punch it in, make it 30-20, and go over the total, but they kicked the field goal instead, and that was that. But still 3-3. We had the Colts to hang on to win against the Texans with that one, but they got the job done. At the Rams, no sweat with that against the Atlanta Falcons as the Dan Quinn hot seat. It's scorching hot now It's so hot it's going to shoot him up to the stars right now. Dan Quinn's hot seat with everything that's happening now with Atlanta. And what was the third one I had? That was a good one. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Oakland Green Bay over. And that one flew over the total with these. So 3-3, we'll take it. I was going to ask you about one of these games. Which one was it now? The Colts. Yes, Teddy. The Colts. I'm buying this team as being seriously in the mix here, AFC wise, as in win the conference now. Like maybe I'm overreacting because I'm feeling good after cashing with them yesterday, but I'm seeing a very well coached football team. I'm seeing a defense that against a red hot Deshaun Watson and Texans offense yesterday kept them in check. You're probably never going to shut them down completely, not that receiving core. And that offensive line now that with Tunsil, I mean, that offensive line's played a lot better as the season's gone on. I saw a defense that dug in. I'm seeing Jacoby Brissett have a tremendous game yesterday. I thought he played so well at the quarterback position, finding receivers down the field against Houston. Maybe that's a detriment or indictment, I should say, of that Houston secondary. But you got to give Brissett credit for finding the receivers down the field. They're extremely well coached. You saw it. Frank Reich off the bye. He had his team ready to go. I think he's already, in my opinion, candidate at least for Coach of the Year with what he's done. Obviously, Peyton's doing a great job with the Saints, McDermott with the Bills. There's a lot of guys in that discussion, but fantastic job by the Colts. I think they're a player in the AFC. The AFC's mediocre this year. It's watered down a little bit outside of New England. There's a whole bunch of teams that are just, there's not a lot of separation between them all. I think the Colts, why not them? I think they're in the mix. What do you think about what you're seeing from Indy right now?
I agree with the concept that Indy is in the mix. Absolutely. But I've got, and when we talk about what happened yesterday, Indy off the bye, Houston wasn't, and that showed. But Frank Reich puts together some really nice game plans. He asked me what was the difference yesterday. It wasn't the talent on the field. It was the coaching on the field. Bill O'Brien is going to cost his team a handful of games every year, and Frank Reich's going to win his team a handful of games every year. I'm not sold on Indy's defense. I'm not sold on Brissett having games like he had yesterday on a week-in, week-out basis. I don't think the Colts can be at the upper echelon of the AFC the way that a team like Houston can when you're talking about futures. So I'm not quite as bullish on Indy as you are. That being said, you talk about a team that has potential to make you money. Indy certainly has that potential. Even with those modest flaws, they're not a team that's being priced as a legit contender in the betting marketplace just yet. Indy has the potential to offer real value moving forward.
Yeah, just like they have so far this season, they've been a very good ATS team, and that's despite injuries on defense. They were playing without Darius Leonard for a few weeks. He just got back yesterday. We obviously know that Jacoby Brissett's been their quarterback all season after Andrew Luck retired. So great job. But you're right about you make a good point, Teddy, about one thing. That Jacoby Brissett really playing well, and great ability, great performance, great talent, or was that scheme, game plan, extra prep time off the bye, at home no less, in an advantageous spot leading to that performance more than anything? That's going to be the question moving forward. Can Brissett be anything close to what he did? If he is, that's good news for the Colts. All right, Teddy, let's get to Monday Night Football here. It's Patriots taking on the Jets. It's an interesting game in the AFC East. We've got New England laying 9, and although 10s are starting to pop up, which is not surprising, day a game. We're starting to see, people try to come in on New England a little bit, the way they've gone. Total 43 and a half at bookmaker Chris. There's 42 and a half actually at Heritage. So we've got a little bit of a discrepancy with the total. That's why SBRodds.com, people, check it out. Make sure you're using that resource every single day. You need to get the best line, get the best number, best price, whatever the case may be. You got to, as Teddy said many, many times, you got to be able to turn a loss into a push or a push into a win. And the way you do that is SBRodds.com to make sure you're getting the best number at all times. I made a case for the Jets here. I bet the Jets at 10. It's 9.5 now. I made a case for them. I thought it was a revitalized, galvanized football team. Last week against Dallas with Sam Darnold back. Now they get C.J. Mosley back. Linebacker are one of, if not their best defensive player tonight for this football game against New England. I liked what I saw. This is a 1-4 team. We were looking for a response last week against Dallas, 0-4. It's not gone well. You're in an uphill battle to make anything of this season at this point, but I wanted to see, was there life still in this Jets team going into that game against Dallas, 0-4 with your starting quarterback returning? Oh, there was life in the Jets last week. They played like they still had some purpose. They still had something to play for. It was a great return for Sam Darnold. It was great to see him connecting with Robbie Anderson and Jamison Crowder. I mentioned it earlier. What a performance those two receivers. I mean, what 11 catches combined last week, 223 yards against that Dallas secondary. They were absolutely outstanding in that game. Jets showed me some life. And here's the thing I'm going to poke holes with about New England 6-0 start. And I know they're another. Here we go again with New England. Everybody knows how good they are. Everybody knows it's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and year in and year out contending for a Super Bowl, and yet year in and year out a winning ATS record with this New England Patriots team. It's unbelievable, Teddy, how year in and year out this team is still profitable for their backers. But I'm going to poke holes a little bit in what New England's done so far. Pittsburgh, a win against them, and they've not been the same group this year. Miami, we know how bad they are. New York Jets, the first meeting, 30-14 with Luke Falk at quarterback, who could not do anything. He could barely throw a forward pass. That's how bad things were with Luke Falk at the quarterback spot. Hung on to the ball too long, sack machine, the whole bit. It was a nightmare, Luke Falk at the quarterback spot. That was one of New England's wins. They get the one close, razor-thin win was Buffalo, 16-10, and they got outgained in that game by 150 yards. Skin of their teeth. And maybe if Josh Allen doesn't get injured in that game, Matt Barkley comes in, who knows how that game ends up. Then you play Washington. I don't want to go crazy about New England's defense holding the Redskins, the Deadskins, to 7 points. We saw that Washington offense again yesterday, shut out by San Francisco. And then the Giants, and that game was up for grabs from a point spread standpoint most of the way. Second half, it got away from the Giants, and the Patriots took advantage of the same crap that I had to watch from the Giants yesterday. Bad offensive line play, the Daniel Jones taking too many sacks, fumbling the ball, all kinds of same BS that happened to the Giants against New England last Thursday night, and that allowed the Patriots to get a point spread cover that was pretty close when it was all said and done. I think it's a cupcake schedule so far for New England. They've beaten up on nothing but the Sisters of the Poor. The only real quality win is Buffalo, and I guess you could say the Week 1 win against Pittsburgh because Big Ben was still healthy at the time. It was a decent win too, but I think they get tested here. The Jets have a pretty good knack, a pretty good track record of battling the Patriots pretty tough here when they're hosting the Patriots. I mean, when they've played at MetLife Stadium in recent years, Jets have given them a battle. Jets have covered 5 of the last 6 head-to-head hosting the Patriots. I think they give them a game here. I really like this Jets side as the home underdog here. Pretty neutral on the total in this game. And again, New England's defense, the numbers are going to look off the chart, but a lot of bad quarterbacks, a lot of bad offenses. I think you're going to be facing a much better quarterback and a much better offense tonight. Yeah, give me the Jets, Jets. That is a play for me. I like this one. I haven't been involved in Monday Night Football every week, but I'm involved in this one, and it's a pretty strong opinion of mine. What say you, Teddy, about Patriots and Jets?
I agree with everything that you said, Ian. Every last word, with one exception. I'm not betting the Jets. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? When you look at the statistical profile and you say, how have the Patriots done it all these years? They've done it because their statistical profile always is weaker than their results in the field. Yards per play is never blows you away with New England. They always have a positive turnover differential, and the markets are always like, well, the positive turnover differential teams aren't quite as good as we think they are. A lot of it has to do with stats. But when you're talking about a team that's covered at a 63% clip, counting every game since 2003, that's insane. That doesn't happen in the NFL. And I have found, in tracking my results, I have found all these reasons of bet against New England, bet against New England, bet against New England. And when I look at my results in those games, I don't win them. So in the modern era, over the last couple of years, what I've done is when I'm making a case, and all I can do is make a case against the Patriots here, I leave the game alone because I lose those games and I've lost them. It's like talk about the unders that make sense or unders that don't always cash. Betting against the Patriots makes a ton of sense. Of course it does. Division team in revenge, got Sam Darnold back, a whole different team than the one that got lit up in New England. And remember, the Jets cover in that first game was as fraudulent as it gets. The Patriots dominated the game. The Jets had 2 cheap non-offensive scores to lose by only 16 in that contest. They were crushed in that ballgame. Here's the other reason why I'm not betting the Jets tonight. Oh, everything points towards the Jets. Not the injury report. Look at their offensive line for tonight. Okay, Beacham's not going to play. Khalil's not likely to play. Winter's not likely to play. Osemele's not going to play. They're missing basically as many as 4 guys out of their 5 starters in the offensive line tonight. And I don't want that against New England. I don't want that with Darnold. That is a banged up OL against an elite defense that's been annihilating teams like the Jets all year. I certainly think that the Jets are capable of giving the Patriots a game tonight. I really do. But when it comes to actually betting the Jets, yeah, I'm going to lean there. I will not get to the betting window with the New York Football Jets tonight. It's only a lean. And that is again, that comes from one of the reasons you track your results is to track your results. And when you go back and look in 5 years of betting against the Patriots, you've cashed what, like 10% of your tickets. You're like, maybe we shouldn't be betting against the Patriots anymore. So that's my thought process with New England. There are, however, some bets that I have made. We like to talk about this on Mondays in college football. I know we just lost Ian, so I'm going to talk here for a minute or two till we get Ian back. And I'm going to talk about some of the bets that I made in college football. We had a bunch last Monday. This Monday, not as many. But mostly the concept is around key numbers. Unfortunately, there's 5 bets I made last night. 2 of the numbers are already gone, which is a little bit frustrating. I bet Iowa State minus 8.5 last night. Iowa State's an every week team. We talked about that last week. And I bet Iowa State right from the opener, and boom, they're up to 10.5 against Okie State. I still like them at 10. Grab them at 10 right now. Iowa State's an every week team. I haven't bet my other every week team, Central Michigan, because they're plus 2.5 right now. That might get to 3. So there's no reason for me to get down at 2.5, but I'm obviously tracking that line. But Iowa State and Central were the 2 teams I said we're betting every week. Since I said that, I think we're 6-0 with those 2 teams, and I'm going to continue to ride those 2 squads as undervalued commodities. Although I haven't bet Central yet, I did bet the Cyclones. I also bet betting number 103, SMU minus 13.5 against Houston, right by the key number. I thought it was a decent chance that's going to go to 14 or higher. I'm not bullish on Houston at all. I think this is an SMU game, and SMU in their TV spots, they're making noise. I thought 13.5 was cheap. And again, I expect that line to go to 14 or higher. So betting number 103, SMU, betting number 170, Central Michigan. I bet Texas at +1. There was 1 +1 out there. I'm like, this is a stupid line. I don't know why TCU's laying in this game. That wasn't a true market number. It's a pick 'em right now. And the early money's come for TCU. But I saw a +1, and that was way off of my number. I'm like, I'm going to grab it as we speak. I wouldn't argue with Texas. Pick 'em right now. That's betting number 187. I bet Virginia, betting number 191. Virginia minus the 3. That line is on its way to 3.5. Find the 3 now. That one will be gone. And then I took Arizona State. I know I had them last week. They didn't do me any good up in Utah. I tried them again here against UCLA. Minus 2.5. I wanted to get down before it got to 3. I thought the Sun Devils will bounce back strong. So SMU, Iowa State, Texas, Virginia, Arizona State. Those are the 5 bets that I made Sunday night / Monday morning. Let me give the lines. SMU minus 13.5. Iowa State, I got 8.5. I know that's not available. I'm going to tell you that 10 is okay right now. I got Texas +1. I got Virginia minus 3. I got Arizona State minus 2.5. Again, the goal was to get by, get the lock in around the key numbers where you can. And again, Central Michigan betting number 129 is one I expect to bet, but I have not bet yet. Do we have Ian back, or have we lost Ian completely? If we lost Ian completely, I'm happy to go solo. Although I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Darn it, I don't have the chat open. I don't think we have Ian, so I'm going to go solo, I guess, here for a little bit. Give me some feedback here. Let me get a chat open so I can give me a link to the chat so I can open it. Okay, we've lost Ian completely. So it's just me right now. We talked about Monday Night Football. We've talked about the early bets in college football for next week. I love to talk about NBA, but I don't know if that wasn't on the slate for today. But they're telling me to close my segment and end the show. I want to answer some chat questions, but so be it. It is what it is. Thank you for watching. I apologize for the technical difficulties that have left it relatively short for today. And the bottom line is, enjoy the game tonight. Yeah, but I want to do Q&A, but can you give me a link to the forum? Sorry, I'm chatting to the questions, and I'll just log in and answer whatever questions you guys have. But I can't do that without the link. So let me see if we're going to chat, if we're going to log off or not. I'll see if I get a link here in a minute. I would love to answer your questions. As long as they send me a link here in a minute, I will answer them. In the meantime, Let's get the chat open. Let's see. Okay. So I can at least click on the link. There we go. Let's see if I can click on it. Oh, I'll try to click on it over here. All right, guys, give me just a second. Let me get the window open, and I'll answer questions directly as best I can. Thank you again for your patience. While we deal with this, the beauty of live, going live. I appreciate that. All right. We're coming. Should I tell a story about Monday Night Football? Oh, goodness. I want to focus. Focus, Ted. Focus on what you're doing. If you get caught storytelling, you'll never get there. All right. Just clicking. There we go. I don't know why we're not opening. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, I guess this isn't going particularly well right now. Okay, here we go. Something's opening up. Oh. Sorry. This is not good copy. And I don't have Jimmy's energy. Jimmy's like bouncing around. Ian's got the hair. All I got here is me going, oh, what am I watching? Oh, great. I opened it 6 times. All right. That's what the problem is. I kept clicking. See if I can answer your freaking questions here. Come on. You can do it. My volume's down. And I think we're close. If we're not close, I'll let you go. I'll let y'all go. I apologize. All right. Jeez Louise, everything's loading slow today. Yeah, so Monday Night Football, we didn't talk about the total at all. I do lean under on Monday night simply because we talked about the Jets' offensive line issues. We know what New England wants to do in terms of a game plan. Patriots are real simple. They want to get a lead and grind clock. This is not a pad Tom Brady stats type of year. So I lean under, but I'm actually going to get to the betting window with it. Ian said it best. Unders are literally will take years off your life, and the unders that make sense are the ones that oftentimes give you the most trouble. All right, here we go. Power outage at my play. Oh, Ian's got a power outage. All right, there we go. All right, let's go. So early books. Luis Fernando Esquina. I love your attitude. It's always so relaxed. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not always relaxing when you're like, oh, by the way, the host is gone and carry the show right now, but it's all good, man. Waterboy, you can do it. Yeah, I appreciate that. Who's pitching tomorrow? We haven't talked about the World Series. And it's certainly something that's worth talking about a fair bit, because when we talk about the Nationals and this price range, I mean, Washington's been red hot. Their pitching is elite. The lineup has hit the baseball throughout the postseason against good pitching, and they're $2 underdogs. Plus 190. You can find plus $2 with the Nats. I honestly think they're live at that price, but I don't want to take Washington on the series price if I'm not backing them in game one. This is something we don't talk about a lot. When it comes to series price betting versus individual game betting, you never make a series bet unless you're making a game bet on that same game. Because if you're right on your game bet, your series price is going to change dramatically. So you lock in both at the same time. If you like the Nats for the series, you wait, and you don't like them game one, you wait until after game one to bet them, because you get the adjusted series price that's going to be higher than the plus 185, plus 190, plus $2 that you can find right now. So, when you talk about how to maximize your ROI in these type of situations, game one correlates with series price. So when you have a game one opinion, you bet your series opinion right there and then. My baseball playoffs have been awful. I talked about it last week. I'm like, 2 leans towards the dogs and both favorites won. And I'm like, oh, this is the Yankees spot and the Astros won. And then I'm like, oh, I like Houston to close out the series and the Yankees won. I mean, my baseball has been god awful. All right. And when it's god awful, I'm not betting this stuff. I'm not asking my clients to bet it. I'm not trying to bang my head against a wall. You're ice cold. You're ice cold. You suck it up and you leave it alone. That said, if I had to play game one, it would be Washington plus at the big plus price. That's the only way I could look in that contest. So Christopher Comentini asking for early looks on MLB. That's what I got. Shurigan, I apologize. Amateur issue. Amaterasu. Amateur ASU? I don't know who you are, Shar. Anyhow, it is a law. NBA officially starts the losing season. I love NBA. Okay. I'm not trying to handicap spots. I'm trying to find teams that are overvalued and undervalued and bet on those same teams for a period of 5, 10, 15 games. Sometimes you can get 20 games out of them. But I'm simply looking for teams and riding those teams, either betting on them or betting against them again and again and again until the markets catch up. And that's my entire NBA philosophy, and it works. So I'll be happy to share those thoughts with you throughout the course of the season. Scherzer, yeah, careful with NBA. You do have to be careful with NBA. It's not an easy one. Ian up plus 0.85 units in NHL. I know what he's doing. He's typing on his phone right now. Poor guy. The power went out at his house. That's why you got to live in Vegas. The power doesn't go out quite so often. We don't have storms that come through very often. It does happen. Talking about hockey tonight, I can't help you. Oscar Dance gets his first start tonight for Vegas. Matt Randall took Notre Dame plus stuff. Did that line move to 4? That was 2.5 when I was looking at it. When the heck did that go to 4? I got to look. All right. Ian's saying he's out of here. Have a great day and good luck, family. Ian is in Hamilton. Yes, which is a long way. Did I say Toronto? I know he's in Hamilton. I knew that. He's been in Hamilton the whole time that I've known him. And I've known him now close to 15 years. So if I said the wrong, I apologize to Canadians. I often get Canadian geography wrong on a consistent basis. So I apologize. AM's asking, Teddy, do you ever bet soccer? Ever? I have bet soccer. Do I handicap soccer? No. Do I bet soccer on a consistent basis? No. I like to focus and make my bets in the sports that I'm handicapping, and I don't have to worry about anybody else's opinion. Anyone else going hot or cold, or anyone else that got into a fight with their wife last night and didn't pay full attention to what the heck's going on in the marketplace today. Then I blame myself when I don't do well, and I blame myself, give myself credit when I do. So I don't do a lot of soccer. At times, I've done some stuff in the World Cup, in the World Cup's past, but on a day in, day out basis, it's not something that I even look at. Any lean on OSU versus Wisconsin? I'm telling you, I'm not stepping in front of Ohio State. What I say last week, I'm not stepping in front of Ohio State. What I'm going to say next week, I'm not stepping in front of Ohio State. I was pretty frustrated this Saturday. Pretty frustrated is the wrong word. I was really frustrated this Saturday. I felt there was some really good stuff that I missed, including Illinois over Wisconsin, which was maybe the single most obvious play in the history of college football, and it's staring me in the face all week. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of look towards Illinois, and that was like, I'm really frustrated with myself. That's one that you can't miss stuff like that. But my point is that I'm not a believer in Wisconsin. I do think Wisconsin's a fraud. I think Wisconsin over the back half of the season is likely to be a money loser, not a money winner. The real JDX. Teddy, you're the man because I'm slapping around. What's my take on the Redskins versus the Vikes on Thursday Night Football? I know that I won't take the Redskins. Your bottom 5 teams in the NFL are pretty well unbackable right now. Miami covered yesterday. We'll give them credit. Miami's, maybe they're a little bit more backable because they were so badly. But Cincy's not a backable team right now. The Redskins aren't a backable team. The Falcons aren't a backable team right now. The bottom tier NFL, the bottom 4, 5, 6 teams are pretty rough. And Washington's one of those teams. That's not a team I want on a short week. And of course, Callahan's not a rookie head coach. Yeah, he is. So it's a rookie head coach taking his team on a short week. And those rookie coaches do not do well on Thursday night. I'm not excited about laying more than 2 touchdowns with Minnie. It's not a game I expect to get involved with. Vikings will destroy. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Vikings will destroy. They might. Eddie Obasan, OSU's the best team in the country. My power ratings don't disagree with that. Cowboys won last night, so I'm in a good mood. Ron, my girlfriend, thanks the Cowboys. Steve Priest, soccer value and draws. I wouldn't argue with that. Paul Costa, this is a good question. What's the best time to visit Vegas for sports betting? March Madness, Super Bowl. That's 1 and 2. However, if you want to actually get a seat, honestly, the week before March Madness, the conference tournament week, that is an incredible betting week. That's a way better betting week than March Madness is. There's literally action from 8 a.m. till midnight. You can find a seat in the sports books. That might be the sneaky underrated week. Is the conference championship weeks in college football. That's a really good time to be in Vegas. But look, man, you're not going to go wrong. There's not a bad week to be in the Vegas books. In the summertime, it's quiet. But if you come during any week during football season, you're not going to be disappointed. You come any weekend during hoop season, you're not going to be sitting in a dead book going, wow, this sucks. It doesn't happen a whole lot here in Vegas. Let's see. Stars. I can't help you with the stars. I got nothing on hockey, so I apologize. Ooh, retracted. Clemson and Tempson team total over was very good. Yeah, we talked about Clemson last week, and I was debating, do we want Clemson? Do we want the over in that game? And on Friday, I think I came in, if it was Thursday or Friday, I'm like, it's Clemson. It's not the over. I didn't trust Louisville to move the football. They did not. Clemson, a right side. Teddy, Oklahoma State must have killed you Saturday. No, they did not kill me Saturday. I didn't have the little money I had on Okie State. I bet back the other way. And that was, I think I had a half unit on that squad, and I put it back. It wasn't a game that there were lots of wise guys that liked Okie State. Sometimes when the popular choice, too popular choice, those are ones that I like to leave alone. Unfortunately, I don't always get them. Sometimes I leave stuff alone that I probably shouldn't have done. But that was absolutely one of them. Not a game. What's my opinion on NBA starting tomorrow? Marcus Sebastian. I love NBA. I genuinely love NBA. And the beauty of NBA and college football and NFL, we find a team that's undervalued and maybe you get a couple of weeks out of them. You get 2-3 games from a team that's not priced correctly in the marketplace, and the markets catch up. In the NBA, again, the first 10 games of the season, the power ratings are getting all adjusted. You get 15, 20 games in, you get into December, and basically the markets are like, well, this is how good all the teams are. And that's not how good they stay all year. You get all of these great morphs where teams were playing here and now they're playing here. And the point is, instead of being able to ride 2-3 games for a team, you can ride a team 5, 10, 15 games, sometimes 20 games in a row where you're like, this team's just priced wrong. And at the end of the 20 games, you go 13-7 ATS or 14-6 ATS. And that team made you a whole bunch of money. They're your favorite team. That's the way I approach NBA. Lots of guys approach spots. I approach and the spots are priced in. They really are. And the spots haven't worked that well in recent years. So that's two faults with NBA. And NBA is a lot of pros don't like NBA. It's not a game that gets ridiculous wise guy attention. And all the money that comes on NBA is all algorithm based. So if you're actually watching the games and reading the quotes and paying attention, and oh, by the way, this guy who was a key bench contributor is now hurt and now their bench is no good. Those little factors can really help you in the NBA and help you for weeks at a time, either backing or betting against the same team. Baby money, Arizona Cardinals will surprise. They already have surprised. Jimmy in tomorrow? No, Jimmy's in Panama, man. Give Jimmy a couple days off. He deserves it. No question. Christopher Comentini, how about that La Tech? And that game was a sweat. Were you watching that? They were down 14-0 early. I'm like, oh, brother, wake up. Don't fall way behind Southern Miss in that one. They woke up in a big way. That was a fun game and a nice comeback by La Tech on their home field. I thought Southern Miss was a little bit weaker than the markets were giving them credit for, and that turned out to be correct in Ruston on Saturday. Steve Priest asked me, best sportsbook to have a beer and bet while in Vegas. I'm telling you, you're not going to go wrong. You're not. I'm partial. I love the Westgate Superbook. That's one of the classics in town. Caesars is a fun place to watch a game. You're not going to go wrong at any of the CG sportsbook. You want to go down to the M. You want something a little bit, off strip. That's great. Gosh, the Palazzos, you eat and drink and have fun and watch games. A beautiful venue in the Palazzo. You go downtown. I'm a big fan of Fremont Street, but this is the truth of it. You're not going to go wrong. All right. You're on a strip. You're in a major property. You're in a sports book. You'll be just fine. You're not going to be like, oh, I wish I was wherever. The opportunities are there, and there's plenty of good places to visit. You're not gonna go wrong. I just listed a half dozen books. Luis Fernando Esquina. The NBA season's upon us. May the basketball gods bless it with only winners. No, we're going to lose. We're going to have losing days. We're going to have losing weeks. It's inevitable. Being able to accept the losing and not have it eat you alive can really pay dividends over the long term, both in your betting and in your enjoyment of life in general. Losses will hurt. You want them to hurt. You don't want to be like, yeah, whatever, no big deal when you're running bad and when you're, taking beats. Accept it. Don't let it eat you. There's a difference. Barley's and Henderson. Yeah, no argument with Barley's and Henderson. That's a good place to watch a game and have a beer. Very much so. They brew their own there. No problem with that whatsoever. Teddy, NBA totals are super high early, too high, maybe. They might be. I wouldn't be surprised to see some significant adjustments fairly quickly in the marketplace. Does Atlantic City have a good sportsbook? I'm sure they have several good sports. Like Borgata is one that always I hear people coming back from AC talking about. That was pretty good. The old Stardust was nice. Yeah, the old Stardust that was my home. When I first moved to Las Vegas, I basically lived in the Stardust Sportsbook during my waking hours until the place got imploded. I ended up doing the Stardust radio show for many years, the Stardust line. That's kind of how I got into the radio and broadcasting. That was my first broadcasting gig in Vegas, was doing the Stardust line on Saturday nights. I will always have a warm feeling in my heart towards what was a rundown property towards the end, but certainly a place that was as friendly for sports bettors as any in the city of Las Vegas. Couple more questions here. Thanks, Teddy, from Steve. Hey, no problem, buddy. Teddy, what is wrong with Seattle? They should have won. Seattle just played a bad game yesterday. I didn't take anything away from the Seahawks. I didn't downgrade them significantly in my power ratings. They ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. Lamar Jackson was impressive, was really impressive. But the Seahawks, it was not one of these games where you're like, oh, my God, the bottom's dropping out of Seattle. I think the Seahawks have a nice bounce-back opportunity against Atlanta this week. I already have some Seahawks in my pocket actually, I don't. I want to have Seahawks in my pocket, but their line wasn't up because of Matt Ryan. I expect to have Seahawks in my pocket. I don't want to say bullshit when when I haven't actually bet it yet. And that line, yeah, there's not much out there. 3.5, but we don't know yet if Ryan's going to play. I'm going to see if I can get down on that. Teddy, what do you think about the UCLA ASU line at 2.5? I already put Arizona State minus 2.5 in my pocket. That was one of the 5 plays we talked at the top of the show. Again, SMU minus 13.5. Iowa State minus 8.5. That's gone. Texas plus 1. That's a rogue line. Virginia minus 3. That's disappearing quickly. And Arizona State minus 2.5. Those were the bets that I made. Dark-eyed horse. How do you stay disciplined betting your bankroll? Experience. I mean, honestly, it's just I'm not. And when you build up a bankroll, you're much less inclined to blow it in a short period of time. But I'm not an action junkie. I've never been wired that way. And for the guys who are action junkies, it's really hard to build a bankroll and maintain it. And the goal is stay in action, and that's fine. The goal is, do you want action or do you want profits? And I have no problem with guys that want action. As long as you can keep yourself in action, that's fine. And bet and then do what you do. My goal for betting has always been to make money, not to get the rush. So for doing that, it makes it fairly easy, and to make my bets relatively small compared to my bankroll, and that ensures that any winning streak is not going to be insane and any losing streak is not going to be insane. I'm still going to be in action betting comparable units for any short-term swing. All right. I could answer questions all day, but I'm out of time. Thank you so much. And thanks for rolling with the technical difficulties. Thanks for rolling with me while I was trying to get the stupid window to open up on my computer that was moving slowly. And I clicked on it 6 times and all 6 windows were trying to open. I appreciate it. Of course, they'll be back later. Who's doing? DJ Big Boss is doing betting with the bag tonight. So that should be fun tonight. So be sure to tune in right here on SBR later in the day. And of course, check out the SBR live odds page all day long and open your accounts with an SBR click. Come on, guys. Lots of free content. You have to support those who help you, like sportsbookreview.com. Thanks again. Enjoy the game tonight. Bet with your head, not over it. We'll be back again tomorrow right here on Betting with the Bag at SBR.com. Cheers.